looks like now, where it has like more drastic drawbacks but higher boons to it.
And is Cyber playing Sonic still, or is he playing K. Rool?
I've seen him play a lot of characters, Pit being one of them.
Because I know that Cyber was like a huge advocate for K. Rool being in the game. So I don't know if that translated to him playing the character or not.
I'm not particularly certain. I mean, I know I was one of the louder advocates of Inkling joining Smash and was incredibly excited when Inkling joined the roster with announcing Ultimate, but I don't particularly like Inkling, so I'm just glad that they're here. And it actually looks like the team of Cyber and Saverson are going to be running Pit. All right, I like it. Speaking of changes coming into Ultimate, Pit is one of the characters that actually got, I think the best change is just the fact that he works now. He doesn't do anything particularly different, but his forward air, his nair, his up air, all have no trouble connecting now.
Right.
They made his light arrow much more potent. It's not like super supreme knocking you off the stage, but like you hit someone with it.
Yeah.
Like,
I also
works.
think Pit got a bit of a buff from the new dodge mechanics, in the sense where you can really force them to use that one dodge that they have with your arrows, and then watch them kind of stutter and flop around trying to get back to the ledge.
I feel like it's less the mechanics themselves and just the fact that Pit just works now. On top of that, there's a few little neat things you can do with his tools. Drag down with fair leads into certain combos. He still has a lot of his like Oonga Bunga combos where you like throw into down smash or down smash out of some light hit. Like he could still do all of that. That being said, I'm curious to see how he's going to manage around the team that that blue team brings, just because there's so much kill power behind Cloud and Shoal. But they're managing at the very least, managing to take stock off of SoulArts, while Ippo's still chilling. And sitting at 132 is like a pretty safe percentage in this game, just because like the percentages as a whole have like moved ahead a little bit.
Right.
But dash attack managing the kill now, that's another thing that I'm going to have to get used to, is Pit's dash attack gets killed multiple times.
That's silly. And they really did a number to Cloud. He's still soldiering on through it, but
I really don't think they changed much. They gave him reasonable nerfs in that his nair isn't like exceedingly large. His back air comes out a tiny bit later. His up air doesn't pick up from his feet. And the 15-second force limit on limit charge is, I think, great ways of just balancing the character, but he still has a lot of really good tools. He can still do a lot of the things he did in Smash 4. And I feel like he actually benefits really well from the mechanic changes. Like the forced air dodge situation you brought up earlier is even more potent in Cloud's hands, I feel, than almost any other character. And then the fact that you can directional air dodge for the sake of recovery actually means that Ippo doesn't need to use his limit to recover every time. I think that Cloud will still be a solid character, just not one that was nearly as meta-defining as we saw in Smash 4.
yeah, there's a lot of Smash 4 paradigms that seem to have fallen. Bayonetta crumbled to the ground. Cloud still exists, but Cloud is not the Cloud we know, and I'll say love, but in quotations.
I still feel like Bayonetta can do so. She's certainly not the behemoth of a character that she was in Smash 4, by no means, but she's still capable of doing a lot of what she has. It's just people have not figured out the combo rounds for her yet. Like, that's one of the things that's really strong about her, and let's focus more on Cloud, is that Cross/Slash does manage to clip out Game 1 in favor of Ippo and SoulArts.
I also noticed earlier when Ippo did a cross-slash on, I think it was Cyber's shield, the cross-slash looks like it comes out slower on shield now. Like you have a lot of time to get out of there between swings.
I would not be able to answer that properly just because I haven't studied the frame data for the character yet. I know the frame data is around. Like, data miners are still figuring out ways of presenting it and having it so that it's a bit more viewable, but...
Oh, we got Crom frame data on Kuragani Hammer. Now that you mentioned that. Crom and Roy are up.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Looks like they're going to be going to the Omega for Green Hill Zone. All right. Surprised for the final destination pick, although I guess it makes sense for Pit considering that Pit can control the stage really well as far as like funneling people to the ledge. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. We're getting right into it.
Yep.
Still going Pit, not going Sonic.
I don't know if he's going to go Sonic. Sonic's been changed pretty dramatically, in my opinion. His play style is a bit different, so it's going to take time to adjust. Although this is hilarious. Just set up the line. All right, it was a cute start. If they get themselves to a position to do it again, I'm actually curious to see how Ippo and SoulArts respond to it.
Yeah, these are two characters where their recovery can be pretty hampered just by the existence of light arrows.
Not entirely, but we do see a quick stock go for Ippo. I feel like the light arrows, they're not going to have super great impact on this match, but they do allow a little bit of damage here and there and can extend the ledge plays, which I feel like that's more important than anything else.
And that phalanx strategy they employed early on seems to have done some work.
I mean, it forced the interactions really quickly. The finishing touch is still dope. And not being able to snap to the ledge. Unfortunate for SoulArts. I do appreciate the effort from Cyber, though, trying to extend the play, get Cloud out there deep. Like I said earlier, Fair has potential to drag down, so you catch a jump with that, if you exhaust the limit and still cut through it, like that could be curtains very easily for Cloud. A lot of the same like notions for getting rid of a Cloud stock are around. Like you keep him at the ledge long enough, you exhaust his limit, you edge guard him, yeah, he's gonna get popped. Like none of that really changed.
Sean and Cyber trying to set up another phalanx again, but it's not working as well on that attempt.
Yeah, I think now that engines are running for all of these players, they can just run right through the arrows and either put out an aerial to try and cut through them or just dodge them. So it's a cute way to start the match, but it's not like a real strategy that's going to get anything done. I can't believe upper arm dash really got that kill.
Yeah, the upper dash arm does seem stronger in this game for whatever reason.
I mean, it was fairly strong in Smash 4. It's, I think, safer on Shield, which is the big part.
Yeah, Sakurai decided he didn't give enough love to his children last game. And those silly arrows.
Arrows get it done. I mean, Cloud couldn't move forward. There's not much that Ippo could do. But the boys throw up the victory sign, and we're going to go into a game 3.
Where do you think Ippo and SoulArts would want to go?
I would assume either Stadium or Battlefield. But I really can't say for certain.
We have DSR, right?
Yes.
Which means they could not go back to Stadium.
Oh, that's correct. And we're currently not running a Nova, so I would say Battlefield would be the pick for them, but it remains to be seen. They could make really good use of Frigate, though I doubt they'll pick into it, just because I know SoulArts is particularly against Frigate being on the list. I don't think they should go to Smashville.
Town?
I especially feel they shouldn't go to Kalos. Town would be all right, but the larger blast zones on it make it not that great of a stage.
Interesting. They're going back to FD,
But they switched it to Cannonbow. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why. But we'll see if they can let it rock on Cannonbow.
3, 2, 1, go!
Yeah, this time Ippo not paying any mind to those arrows. It's a very green stage.
It is.
Have you seen how people have chroma keyed the background so that they can have like random stuff playing?
I have not.
It's hilarious.
I need to see this as soon as the stream is done.
I
now.
need it. This stage is effectively a green screen for memes. We may have lost Meverse, but we got the greatest power of all memery. Whatever fits onto a green screen. Which is anything, really.
I mean, the Hannenbau series was pretty much phone apps on the DS, so I wouldn't be surprised that they just turned it into a green screen.
I don't see a relation, but I'm going to bring this back to the match. And it's a fairly even one right now. The Pits are managing to gain themselves a very slight lead. I think what they figured out is that they can just nair, and that presents enough pressure against SoulArts and Ippo that they have to back themselves to the ledge. And once they're at the ledge, I feel is when Pit's a lot stronger.
Yeah, the stage control they've set up is proving very hard to break.
Wrap it up smash from Cyber tries to take things back into their favor as blue team starts to bleed their way in. And Smash R boosted up tilt is going to be able to end out one of the stocks. However, that was just...
Yeah.
That was a bit gross. Blue team's hanging on by a thread here, but Ippo has seen better days, sitting at 144%. Trying to manage out on the ledge. A bit difficult as it goes from ledge to ledge, but fortunately he was sent right into the protective care of SoulArts, which allowed him to get his limit. Now if he could put it to effective use, but I guess the damage from limit cross slash is fine. Arm dash out of shield actually works. That option's definitely not real, but it's close enough. And a bit suspect DI on that one certainly helps. Either way, down to last stocks across the board for game 3. Yeah, misspacing on the forward smash. I like the idea, though. Double pits spamming their smash attacks is actually not too terrible a move if they just learn their placements right. And unfortunately, Ippo wasting out his limit. Definitely not the time to do it, though, especially as these percentages begin to climb.
Game's looking fairly neck and neck, though. SoulArts going to be going through his usual Monado shuffle.
Yeah, the way to go through the Monado arts, besides it being physically different with the addition of the wheel, but I think more importantly, the cooldown that's on the arts being different.
Blade Beam
changes things up, and Blade Beam from out deep actually gets it done. All right. So with that, we're going to